Many have etched their names into the history of streetwear, but Nigo is on the Mount Rushmore of the industry. Not enough can be said about the part that he's played in shaping the industry, starting with his very first Nowhere in Ura-Harajuku, to the flashy golden era of BAPE during the early 2000s, and his most recent clothing endeavor, Human Made. Today, we'll go over the history of Nigo. And yes, I know it's Nigo, not Nigo, for all of the people that lost it in the BAPE comment section. But we'll go over the history of Nigo and his newest venture, Human Made. But before we get started, don't forget to smash that like button. Liking and sharing the video is the best way to help us to continue to grow. And I always say it, I know, but it's true. And we can't do it without you guys' help. But with that being said, let's jump right in. Eager to spread his wings and fly beyond the fan-fueled thirst for BAPE's signature camo look, Nigo recently parted ways to concentrate entirely on a new brand in the form of Human Made. As we covered in our Undercover and Jun Takahashi video, Nigo's journey to streetwear superstardom began in Japan's revered Bunka Fashion College in the late 80s. Nigo and Takahashi were far from star students though, choosing to forego the college's traditional focus in favor of clubbing and concerts. A united appreciation for outlandish fashion led the two to launch the now legendary store, Nowhere, in 1993 in Ura-Harajuku. While Nowhere would prove short-lived, it served as a launchpad for both Undercover and A Bathed in 8, as well as establishing a reputation for its founders amongst Japan's youth. Nigo, whose name translates into number 2 as a nod to his close relationship with mentor Hiroshi Fujihara, would draw inspiration from the exclusivity of fragment design in establishing his own brand. As such, even from BAPE's early days, he would reportedly only create enough product to satisfy just 10% of all demand. To further fuel demand, Nigo would give away huge amounts of everything he made, reportedly as much as half in the brand's early days, to popular influential figures to secure the brand's status and desirability. And by 1998, the brand was being sold in 40 stores across Japan, although, in an unexpected move, Nigo elected to cease this business model to sell exclusively through a single dedicated BAPE store in Japan. The added struggle to obtain BAPE's wares only further fueled demand, and sales improved even more. And in the decades that followed, BAPE continued to rise in popularity and establish its reputation in the mainstream. And by the mid-2000s, BAPE could be seen on just about everybody who was anybody in streetwear and the urban culture, everywhere around the world. Its colorful and playful aesthetics came to define the period. In 2010, it became clear that Nigo was itching to break free from the shackles of the brand he had established almost 20 years earlier. That year, he established an all-new brand, dubbed Human Made, as a means to create without the suffocating restrictions of BAPE's widely established and beloved visual trademarks. The following year, in news that few could have predicted, it was announced that BAPE had been sold to Hong Kong-based fashion conglomerate IT Group. Nigo remained with the brand for 2 more years as the creative director, but the brand we know as BAPE today is entirely free of his input. Comparing BAPE with Human Made is like comparing a pair of Yeezys with a classic pair of Stan Smiths. Both are good on their own merits, but they're on 2 totally opposite ends of the spectrum aesthetically. Where BAPE is known for its wildly colorful and almost childlike designs, Human Made harkens back to designs from a simpler time, when quality and longevity truly mattered. Inspired by Nigo's personal appreciation for vintage Americana, Human Made's designs channel 50s American workwear, executed with a touch of Japanese flair. Where BAPE had the ability to sell on the merits of his busy signature designs alone, the simpler aesthetics of Human Made draw attention to the quality of its creation and the materials. The brand's own clothes are made in Japan and, as the signature hearts logo suggests, is made with love. Like the vintage clothing which inspired Human Made's creations, its apparel is made to last the test of time. Everything in the range speaks to a sense of high quality. Perfect fits are key, as are immaculate fabrics that promise to last for a long while. Nigo's goal for Human Made was to develop a vintage reproductions that honored his appreciation for old school style. The nostalgic appeal isn't lost on the average streetwear consumer, as the collection invokes a sense of heritage-driven style reminiscent of the best of true mid-century Americana. There's an industrial feel about the Human Made stores situated throughout Japan that tells the tale in a way that only architecture can. The company's Harajuku location, known as Cold Coffee, recently closed to make way for an even newer outpost. It all ties together in true Nigo fashion. The same man who delivered unforgettably loud hoodies adorned with tigers and sharks through BAPE brings an inarguably different approach in a decidedly understated Human Made lineup. It mirrors Nigo's nuanced affinity for different styles, from the playful to the fashionable. Human Made marks a vast departure from the heavily sporty influence BAPE introduced to the world. The brand puts its own fresh spin on off-duty wear in a way that melds the heritage-driven with the low-key. Quality is at the heart of everything in the Human Made lineup. Manufactured in the famed Warehouse Co. factory in Osaka with graphics produced by the legendary Skating, Human Made is less about logos, attitude, and loud colors. It's a sartorial deep dive into the wonderful world of vintage. As I covered in our Evisu video, Japan has long had a deep love for classic Americana, and Human Made's theme is to stay true to this concept. The result is clothes, as Nigo says, he wants to wear himself, a more grown-up version of BAPE. Human Made isn't designed for mainstream success, at least not in a BAPE kind of way. But to me, that's what makes the project even more heartfelt. Personally, these days I favor Human Made over BAPE. It's a lot more understated and less flashy and hoard out. Remember, BAPE has done some very questionable collabs and releases, some of which we covered in our Rise and Fall of the BAPE video. But Human Made is a lot more grown up and pure. Or maybe it's just the fact that I've gotten older. But I don't know. What do you think? Are you a fan of Human Made? Or better yet, which do you prefer, BAPE or Human Made? Hit us up in the comment section and let us know. Also, if you haven't by now, then don't forget to hit that like button. Liking and sharing the video is the best way to help us to continue to grow as a channel. We are, as of doing this video, about 10 subs away from 2,000 subs, and we could not do it without you guys' help. Which reminds me, if you want to be updated whenever we drop a new video such as this, then hit the subscribe button and then the notification bell. This way, you'll be dinged whenever a new episode drops. But with that being said, I'm Nate the Great from TakeFlight214.com signing out. Until next time, peace.